Hello everyone. Welcome to Vishnu IAS Previous Year Question Paper Revision Day 7. In the same YouTube channel, there is another free crash course for Prelims 2020 by Vishnu sir. He will be discussing about the prelims oriented topic. And join our Telegram channel to get info about the daily current affairs. First question. This is a 2013 question. Consider the following Bhakti saints: Dadu Dayal, Guru Nanak, and Tyagaraja. Who among the following was or were preaching when the Lodi dynasty fell and Babur took over? And your options are A 1 and 3, B only 2, C 2 and 3, D 1 and 2. Okay, and your answer is B, that is only 2, that is Guru Nanak. Let's see the explanation. Guru Nanak Dev was born in 1469. Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in 1526. When Babur took over and established the Mughal dynasty, Guru Nanak was traveling to different parts of India and preaching Sikhism. Babur once met Guru Nanak during one of his travel also. Okay, so from this evidence, it is clear that Guru Nanak was the saint. And Dadu Dayal lived between 1544. Okay, he lived between 1544 to 1603. And next is Tyagaraja, who lived between 1767 to 1847. So by this itself you can eliminate these two options. So the remaining answer is Guru Nanak, who lived between 1469 to 1539. So answer is B, Guru Nanak. Next is 2016 question. Consider the following statements. The Mangalyaan launched by ISRO, it is also called as Mars Orbiter mission, made India the second country to have spacecraft orbit the Mars after USA, made India the only country to be successful in making its spacecraft orbit the Mars in its very first attempt. Which of these statements given above is or are correct? Only 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. Okay, and your answer is C. Okay, that is 1 and 3 is correct. Second statement is wrong. Let's see the explanation. The Mars Orbiter mission, MOM, is also called Mangalyaan. It's a space probe orbiting Mars since 24 September 2014. This makes first statement as true. It was launched on 5th November 2013 by ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. It's the first interplanetary mission and it made the fourth space agency to reach Mars. Okay, fourth space agency, not second, to reach Mars after Roscosmos, NASA and European Space Agency. India becomes the first country in the world to place spacecraft in Mars orbit in the first attempt. So this makes third statement true. Okay, so first and third statement is true here and second statement became false. And this is picture, one of the first images of surface of Mars taken by MOM on 25 September 2014. It made the India the first Asian nation to reach Martian orbit and the first nation in the world to do so in its maiden attempt. Okay, and the objectives are to develop technologies required for design, planning, management and operations of an interplanetary mission. Okay, and the objectives of this mission is divided into two. One is technological objective, another is one scientific objectives. The technological objectives include the design and realization of Mars orbiter and deep space communication, navigation, mission planning and management, and incorporate autonomous features to handle contingency situations. Next, the scientific objectives are the exploration of Mars surface features, its mineralogy and morphology and Martian atmosphere by indigenous scientific instruments. So that is the objectives of this mission. Okay, so next question is question number 3 from 2018 question paper. India enacted the Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999 in order to comply with the obligations to ILO, IMF, UNCTAD, WTO. Okay, so in comply with the obligations to which of these India enacted the GI, okay, GI of Goods Act 1999. Okay, and your answer is D, that is WTO. Okay, what is this GI tag? A geographical indication is a name or sign used on certain products which corresponds to specific geographical location or origin, example a town, region or country. Okay, there will be geographical indications for example Darjeeling tea. Okay, this Darjeeling tea was the first Indian product to get the geographical indication tag. In 2004 the famous beverage got this recognition. Okay, so tea, it is from Darjeeling, that is a geographical indication example. Okay, so India, as a member of World Trade Organization, enacted the Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act 1999, which has come into force with the effect from 15 September 2003. A GI tag is a sign used on the products. Okay, it is a sign used on the products um, that have a specific geographical origin and possess origin-based qualities, reputation in the region. And geographical indications are given to foodstuffs, handicrafts, industrial products, then some spirit drinks and agricultural products. Okay, as I said, example of Darjeeling tree. This picture will show you the geographical tags, geographical indication tags India, blue pottery of Jaipur, Rajasthan, Chanderi fabric Madhya Pradesh, Kutch embroidery Gujarat, Solapur Chadar Maharashtra, Mysore silk Karnataka, Aramula Kannadi Kerala, Kanjipuram silk Tamil Nadu, Salem fabric Tamil Nadu, Puchampalli ikat Andhra Pradesh, Bastar Dhokar Chhattisgarh, Orissa ikat Orissa, Nakshikanta West Bengal, Madhubani paintings Bihar, Kulu shawl Himachal Pradesh, Kani shawl Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, these are few among the geographical indications. And next is 2014 question. Which of the following has coral reefs? Okay, which of the following has coral reefs? Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Gulf of Kutch, Gulf of Mannar, Sundarbans. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. 1, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, 1 and 3, D all of this. Okay, and your answer is A. That is 1, 2 and 3. That is fourth option, Sundarbans is alone. It is wrong. Okay, first 3 only is correct. Let's see the explanation. Coral reef is a ridge of rock in the sea formed by growth and deposit of coral. Okay, this is a picture of coral reef. Okay, major reef formations in Indian seas occur in Gulf of Mannar, Park Bay, Gulf of Kutch, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep, and it will not form in Sundarbans. So answer is 1, 2 and 3 option only. Okay, next question is from 2017 question paper. Consider the following statements. With reference to the Constitution of India, the directive principles of state policy constitute limitations upon legislative function, executive function. Which of the above statement is or correct? Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Okay, and your answer is D. That is both are wrong, neither 1 nor 2. Okay, so let's see about directive principles of state policy. Okay, let's see the explanation. It is the fundamental rights that constitute the limitations upon state action, whether legislative or executive. It is the fundamental rights that constitute the limitations. It is not the directive principles of state policy. The directive principles are in nature of instruments of instruction to the government of the day to achieve certain ends by their action. It guides them, not restricts them. The DPSP are the guidelines or 15 principles given to the federal institutions governing the state of India to be kept in citation while framing laws and policies. The directive principles are classified under the following categories: economic and socialistic, political and administrative, justice and legal, environmental, protection of monuments, peace and security. Okay. So according to this, both are wrong. Next is 2012 question. Which of the following measures would result in an increase in the money supply in the economy? Purchase of government securities from the public by the central bank, deposit of currency in commercial banks by the public, borrowing by the government from the central bank, sale of government securities to the public by the central bank. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Only 1, 2 and 4, 1 and 3, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. And your answer is C. That is 1 and 3. Purchase of government securities from public by the central bank, borrowing by the government from central bank. Only that two was correct. And your explanation is purchase of government securities from the public by the central bank as well as borrowing by the government from the central bank introduce money into the system which was not present before. On the other hand, deposit of currency in the commercial banks by the public introduce no new money into the system, while the sale of government securities to the public by the central bank actually takes out the money from the system and replaces it with the government paper. Okay, so the purchase of government securities from the public by the central bank, money supply will be there, and borrowing by the government from the central bank, money supply is there. Okay, it will result in money supply. Okay, so according to this, purchase of government securities from the public by the central bank as well as borrowing by the government from the central bank introduce money into the system. Okay, so it will result in money supply. But deposit of currency in the commercial bank by the public introduce no money in the system, while sale of government securities to the public by the central bank also takes out money from the system and replace it with the government paper. Okay, this is 2019 question. Okay, with reference to the land reforms in independent India, which one of the following statements is correct? The sealing laws were aimed at family holdings and not individual holdings. The major aim of land reforms was providing agricultural land to all the landless. It resulted in cultivation of cash crops as predominant form of cultivation. Or land reforms permitted no exceptions to the sealing limitations. Okay, which of this statement is correct with reference to land reforms? Again, your answer is B. That is, the major aim of land reforms is providing agricultural land to all the landless. Okay, let's see the explanation. The land reforms legislation passed by the Indian government during 1950 were guided by the main objectives like abolition of intermediaries, tenancy reforms to regulate fair tenant and provide security to tenure, ceilings on holdings and distribution of surplus land among landless, consolidation of holdings and prevention of their further fragmentation and development of cooperative farming. With reference to the land reforms in independent India, land ceiling laws are applied to the family holdings as well as individual holdings. So the main aim of the land reforms was providing agricultural land to all the landless. So this is the correct answer. Land reforms were not connected to the cultivation of cash crops in any way directly as a predominant form of cultivation. Land reforms permitted many exemptions to the ceiling limits such as garden lands, forest land and barren land, etc. Okay. Major weakness of this land ceiling laws was that they were aimed at individual holdings and it allowed the zamindars to transfer the land, okay, so they to their relatives and they escaped the ceiling. So the reason of the land reforms was providing the land to all the landless people, that is redistribution from them. They got the land and they redistributed to the people, that is poor people, okay, to the poor people. So that because the landless were considered as one of the major reasons for poverty and exploitation. Okay, so this land reforms were provided to was providing the land to the landless people. Cultivation of cash crops require much more inputs than mere availability of holdings. Cash crops during British time were induced by force, while in post independence major transformation for cash crop has happened where capital, market access, technology and irrigation are available. So after the second plan, a large number of exemptions kicked in for certain categories of land like tea or rubber plantation, orchards, dairy, etc. So to promote certain kind of capitalistic expansion in place of absentee landlordism. Okay. This question you can refer Bipin Chandra's book. Okay. Next is 2011 question. Regarding the Indus Valley civilization, consider the following statement. It was predominantly a secular civilization and the religious elements, though present, did not dominate the scene. During the period, cotton was used for manufacturing textiles in India. Which of the statements given above is or correct? Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. Okay, let's see. The answer is C. That is both one and two. Both the statements are true. Let's see the explanation. Indus Valley civilization was a secular civilization with no trace of theocratic and organized religion being followed. And cotton textiles were produced during the Harappan period as shown by the artifact evidences. Okay, so the Indus people were the earliest people to produce cotton. Because cotton was first produced in this area, the Greeks called it as Sindon, which is, this word Sindon is derived from Sind. So from these, all these evidence, we can find this cotton textiles were produced during Indus Valley civilization itself. Okay, so let's see the next question. This question is 2010 question. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, is an international treaty drawn at United Nations Conference on Human Environment, Stockholm 1972, UN Conference on Environment and Development, Rio de Janeiro 1992, World Summit on Sustainable Development, Johannesburg 2002, UN Climate Change Conference, Copenhagen 2009. Okay, so and your answer is B, that is UN Conference on Environment and Development, Rio de Janeiro 1992. Okay, the United Nations, let's see the explanation. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, is an international environmental treaty adopted on 9 May 1992 and opened for signature at the Earth Summit at Rio de Janeiro from 3rd to 14 June 1992. It then entered into the force on 21st March 1994 after a sufficient number of countries had ratified it. The UNFCCC objective is to stabilize greenhouse gas concentration in the atmosphere at a level that would prevent the dangerous anthropogenic interference with the climate system. Okay, so that is the objective of UNFCCC, okay, to stabilize the greenhouse gas concentration in the atmosphere. Next is 2015 question. H1N1 virus is sometimes mentioned in the news with reference to which of the following disease? AIDS, bird flu, dengue, swine flu. Okay, this question is typed as it is from the question paper, so it was mentioned during that time. Now it is all about coronavirus. Okay, it's not H1N1 virus, it's all about coronavirus now. Okay, let's see the answer. Answer is D, that is swine flu. H1N1 virus is related to swine flu. This is the virus picture. Okay, let's see the explanation. HIV virus causes AIDS and interferes with the body's ability to fight infections. So the virus can be transmitted through contact with infected blood, semen or vaginal fluids. With a few weeks of HIV infection, flu-like symptoms such as fever, sore throat, fatigue can occur. Then disease is usually asymptomatic until it progresses to AIDS. Then strains of influenza virus that primarily infect birds but also can infect humans. This type of flu is most often contracted by contact with sick birds. Okay, it can also be passed from person to person. And mosquito-borne viral disease is dengue. Okay, a mosquito-borne viral disease occurring in the tropical and subtropical areas. Those who become infected with the virus second time are at a significantly greater risk of developing severe disease, that is dengue. Okay, so all these three is wrong. Okay, so and your answer is all about swine flu. Okay, a human respiratory infection caused by influenza strain that started in pigs. Okay, swine flu was first recognized in 1919 pandemic and still circulates as a seasonal flu virus. Swine flu is caused by H1 virus strain which started in pigs. Okay, so a human respiratory infection which is caused by the influenza strain that started in pigs, which was recognized in 1919, and the symptoms of this is which includes fever, cough, sore throat, chills, weakness and body aches. Children, pregnant women and the elderly are at risk from severe infection. So typical treatment includes rest, pain relievers and fluids. In some cases antiviral medication and fluids may be required. Okay, so that's all. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. Do subscribe our channel. Thank you.